Number 2, solve the equation z power 4 minus 1 equal to 0. We are still on polynomials. How can you solve z power 4 minus 1 equal to 0? Remember, when we have a power 2 minus b power 2, what is this? What is a squared minus b squared? So a squared minus b squared is a minus b, a plus b. That's the value of a squared minus b squared. So if a squared minus b squared is a minus b, a plus b. So now what is z power 4 minus 1? This will be equal to z squared into bracket squared minus 1 squared, because 1 power 4, this is like 1 power 4. Because 1 power 4 is 1. Then 1 squared into bracket squared. So this is the same as our a is z squared. This will be z squared minus 1 into bracket z squared plus 1. So which means that z power 4 minus 1 equal to 0 is the same as z squared minus 1 into bracket z squared plus 1 equal to 0. So what does it mean? If this one is equal to 0, it means that this one will be equal to 0 or that one will be equal to 0. So therefore, z squared plus 1 is 0, or z squared, sorry, I have minus here, plus 1 will be equal to what? To 0. So we have two equations here. Let us start with this one. For z squared minus 1 equal to 0, so we can also use that formula again. It will be z minus 1 into bracket z plus 1 plus 1 equal to 0. So where we say that z minus 1 equal to 0 or z plus 1 equal to 0. So here z will be equal to 1 or z will be equal to negative 1. So those are two values of z. So from this equation. So let us use this. For z squared plus 1 equal to 0, what will be the value of z? So z squared will be equal to negative 1. So square root of z squared, square root of negative 1. So z will be, remember, negative 1 is the same as I squared. This is root I squared. So z will be plus or minus I. So our set, so now it is, we have plus or minus I, that is negative I, and the I. So we have negative 1 and the what? So that is the answer. You see, we have what? 4 roots, because we had z power 4. So which means that it has to give us what? 4 roots. Is there any question there? I hope there is no question. Let us go to number 3. Number 3 here, factorize completely. Our P of z is equal to z power 4 minus 4 into bracket 1 plus I, z power 3, plus 12i z squared minus 8i into bracket 1 plus I times z minus 5. And hence solve the equation P of z equal to 0. So we're going to factorize. After we solve P of z, we get the value of what? We get the values of z. So what we do, we start by checking if we can get the roots, can satisfy this equation. We can use negative 1 or 1. So we have P of z, which is z power 4, minus 4 into bracket 1 plus I, z power 3, plus 12i z squared minus 8i into 1 plus I, z minus 5. So let us, z equal to 1 to see if this one can satisfy that equation. So what is P of 1? Is P of 1 equal to 0? So that is 1. You know that 1 power 4 is 1. 1 power 3 is 1. It will be minus 4, minus 4i. Just take this one times that one. 1 power 2, it is 1. That's plus 12i. So 1 times any number, that's 1. Minus 8i. Minus 8i times I, minus 8i squared, and the I squared is negative 1. That's positive 8. Then minus 5. Is that one equal to 0? 1 minus 4, that's negative 3. 4i plus 12i, that's 8i. Minus 8i. So 8 minus 5, that is positive 3. As you can see, this is 0. So since P of 1 is equal to 0, this is the root. This is the root of what? Of P of z. So since this is the root of P of z, we use syntactic division to get other roots. So our z equal to 1. So the coefficient of z power 4 is 1. The coefficient of z power 3, this is negative 4 minus 4i. The coefficient of z squared, that is 12i. The coefficient of z, this is negative 8i plus 8. The constant is negative 5. So I have to put this one down here. I have 1. 1 times 1, that is 1. I just add. I get negative 3 minus 4i. So when I multiply with that one, that's negative 3 minus 4i. I just add 12i plus negative 4i, that is 8i. It will be negative 3 plus 8i. This one times 1, that is this one, which is negative 3 plus 8i. Negative 8i plus 8i, that is 0. 8 minus 3, that is 5. 5 times 1, that's 5. I get 0 here. So now our P of z is, remember, if z equal to 1 is the root, our factor is z minus 1. That is a factor. If z equal to 1, our factor is z minus 1. Because I just take z equal to 1, I bring this one here, becomes z minus 1 equal to 0. So this is z minus 1 is a factor. So meaning that P of z now equal to z minus 1 into bracket. So another factor is this one. So we had z power 4. So since we have reduced by power 1, we're going to start with power 3. So this is the coefficient of z power 3. It will be z power 3. This is the coefficient of z squared plus negative 3 minus 4i z squared. Then this is the coefficient of z plus negative 3 plus 8i z. Then plus 5. So meaning that our P of z, the answer is z minus 1 into bracket z power 3 plus negative 3 minus 4i z squared plus negative 3 plus 8i z plus 5. So this is our polynomial. You see now we have started factorization. So we're going to factorize this one once again. So we have this one. We're going to bring this one. We factorize it. So okay. Then we have z power 3. We let this one to be equal to 0 in order to get how we can factorize it. Plus 3, negative 3, minus 4i z squared plus negative 3 plus 8i z plus 5. Let us be equal to 0. This is 5. So 1 or negative 1 well, if you use z equal to negative 1 or 1, can we get 0 really? Let me try to see if you can get 0. For z equal to 1, this is 1. Let us let z equal to 1 again. So we'll get 1 there. So we'll get, because 1 squared is 1, we'll get negative 3 minus 4i. So we'll get negative 3 plus 8i plus 5. So what is the answer here? So I have 1 minus 3, which is negative 2. Negative 2 is negative 3, that's negative 5. Negative 5 plus this 5, this is negative 2. This is negative 2 is negative 3, that's negative 5. With this 5. So I have negative 4i plus 4i, this is 4i. You see, you get 4i, and this 4i is different from 0. So meaning that negative 1 cannot work. If you use negative 1, this is negative 1. Well, negative 1 squared, that's 1. Negative 3 minus 4i. So this negative 1 times negative 3 becomes positive 3 minus 8i plus 5. You see also, we cannot get, is different from what? 0, because this one and this one will be negative 12i. It cannot be equal to what? To 0. I have told you that if you find 1 and negative 1 cannot work, immediately you let z to be equal to what? bi. So we're going to use this one bi in order to get other roots. Let us try to see if how we can do it.